Greetings and welcome to Luca Sprues. In this video, I build and review the 1/72nd scale Fujumi KV-1 set. The box comes with enough sprues to build two KV-1s with the early welded turret and additional armour for the 1941 model. On first impressions, the details are alright, but the sprue contains a lot of flash, some quite large sinkholes, and areas where detail is not very crisp, which is forgivable since it's a 1971 tooling. The kit also includes a wide number of markings, most with the famous Soviet tank slogans. Assembly begins with the hull. I added a full interior using cardboard for the floors, fuel tanks, front seats, radios and the instrument panels, with toothpicks for the torsion bars and spare sprue for the compressed air tanks, along with thin metal wire for the controls for the driver. I built the engine, transmission and air filters out of Milliput and used a mould of blue stuff, something I might demonstrate in a later video. Other engine details were made out of florist wire, wood and card. The turret construction was relatively easy, except for the difficulty in sanding the front cheeks to fit them due to the excessive flash. I cut the roof off to access the inside of the turret and gave it the same detailing treatment with card, plastic, sheets and metal wiring. I built the running gear halfway through painting the interior. Some of the points to attach the wheels are very delicate and I snapped a couple on the second KV and had to use super glue to reattach them. Overall the details are pretty decent, but there was a lot of flash on the road wheels. I scratched and bent up the fenders using an X-Acto knife and then put Revel contactor all over the exterior of the tank, and while the glue dried, dabbed it with an old brush to create the chipped and imperfect surface of the real KV-1's armour. I painted 3 coats of Tamiya XF81 dark green 2 in 3 watered down layers and then added on decals and weathering. After chipping the surfaces and exposed areas where crew would most likely walk with XF16 flat aluminium, I added PVA glue to the sides and glued dirt between the road wheels to add a weathered effect and hide some of the more obvious ejector pin markings. I also painted the underside and inside of the road wheels black to simulate shading. With the decals fully set, I then streaked heavily wooded down Tamiya XF9 tank hull red on the turret sides and in between the mudguards to create rust and dirt, before heavily washing the whole tank in Tamiya XF52 and rubbing some spots with a cotton bud. For the exhaust smoke and also as a pin wash on the road wheels and radiator, I used heavily wooded down flat black. I also used this for the gun smoke. I weathered the rubber band tracks slightly with flat earth before stapling them together and putting them on the model. Then, I finally painted the last of the interior. I've included a list of paints, but the general ones I used for the inside were flat white, tank hull red, flat aluminium, flat black, field grey, olive green, and got titanium gold. There was also a bit of medium blue on the coolant and the air filters, as well as flat earth on things such as the machine guns. And with the interior details fully painted, the last thing to do was replace the hatches that I drilled out, and with that, the model was completed. Overall, the Fujumi KV-1 is decent. It's pretty similar to the FX T34 in level of detail and age, but is a bit more complex and also had more flashing issues. As a result, it takes a lot of work to clean up, and the fact that it's in 1/72nd scale can be a bit of a bother, especially since it's a larger tank. But with a bit of time and patience, you can still get a decent set of KV-1 tanks, which are a little bit hard to find at this scale in Australia. The alternative manufacturers would be Pegasus and Trumpeter. Thank you very much for watching, and a shout out as always to our patrons, Archie. Thanks for keeping the channel running. Be sure to support us by checking out our other videos, liking, commenting and joining our Patreon. Take care and model on.